I've cooked up the most genius and in-depth theory for exactly what will happen in Squid Game Season 3, based on the latest information from Netflix, the cast of Squid Game, and the director himself. This is the fan theory Netflix does not want you to see. Join me as I walk you through what I'm certain will be the plot of the third and final season of Squid Game. So what do we know for sure? Season 3 will be the last entry in the series, meaning that Gi-hun's story has to come to an end. We also know we'll see the VIPs this season, and the director promised the last 3 games will be even more thrilling. Season 3 is set up to start exactly where Season 2 left off, with the players voting to continue the games or to end them. But without a doubt, the O's will win, since multiple X's were taken out during the overnight fighting and during the rebellion. There are 5 recently released images of Season 3, and I believe these are all linked together and tell a cohesive and exhilarating story. Number 1. What happens to Gi-hun? We know that Gi-hun will be handcuffed to the bed by Front Daddy in the bunk bedroom, but the person standing in front of G-Spot is wearing a green tracksuit and has long hair, leading me to believe this is none other than Dae-ho. Dat Ho failed to bring back the ammo for the other players, which ultimately led to the failure of the rebellion and Gi-hun's surrender. This explains the look of contempt on G-Man's face. On some level, Gi-hun blames Dae-ho for the tragic loss of the other players, including his childhood friend. We know the players who voted to continue the games are more than willing to take out other players if it means more prize money, and with Gilbert now defenseless, this makes him a prime target since he's the one leading others to stop the games. Although Gi-hun is handcuffed to the bed, I don't believe the other players can hurt him. The frontman left him alive for a reason, and we know that G-Money is hands down the most entertaining player for the VIPs, a previous winner who's actively looking to stop the games. Gi-hun as their prized racehorse makes me think the organizers will establish a penalty if anyone harms him, most likely elimination. With Gohan put in timeout, I believe he'll be protected by the guards and made to witness the games, powerlessly watching the other players get eliminated one by one. He'll then be forced by the frontman to make gut-wrenching decisions in an effort to break his spirit. We know Inho has a certain fascination with Gi-hun and his moral principles, and In Your Hole felt a great deal of satisfaction when Gi-hun said the players who would die in the overnight fighting are a necessary sacrifice for the greater good. At the beginning of Season 2, Gi-hun challenged the frontman at his own game, looking to prove that humanity is worth saving. The frontman wants to destroy Gi-hun's faith in mankind, but I'm confident that Inho's plan will fail though, since Gi-hun is the guy who made it to the very end of the Squid Games and was willing to walk away from the money if it meant saving Sang-woo's life. I really doubt the show would end with the reveal that Gilbert turned to the dark side and is now the frontman, so if he did abandon hope in humanity, that means he would need to be taken out or have someone bring him back to his senses. Because Season 3 will have only 6 episodes, I find it highly unlikely that Gi-hun will have a villain arc. What do you think? Do you think G-Man is capable of becoming the frontman? Number 2. The final games revealed. I know what the final 3 games will be, based on information that 99% of Squid Game fans completely forgot about. These games have been in our faces this whole time. Literally everyone forgot about a trailer released before Season 2 that features one key detail at the very end. The actor for Gi-hun, Lee Jung-jae, is holding business cards that actually reveal all 6 of the games across the 2nd and 3rd season. Combining the symbolism on the cards with the art on the walls in the bunk bedroom makes me 99% certain I know what the last games are. The first game will be Dongdaemun, a game where 2 players act as a bridge with all the players marching through it, and when time runs out, the bridge comes down. Anyone caught trapped by the bridge gets eliminated. The players acting as the bridge will be the red light green light doll and Chel-soo, and this explains why they're standing and facing each other. Think about it. Dongdaemun is a game where players march forward as if on a train track until the music stops, which would also explain the train light. Not only this, but one image on the business card shows a circle within a circle, which I believe will be the players marching in and out of the bridge. Another Korean game that fits the description of a circle within a circle is Donkatsu, a game where players step in a circle and try to step on each other's feet to eliminate each other. Towards the end of this game, it does look like a circle within a circle, but I can't see this being an entertaining game for the VIPs, and it has nothing to do with the train or Chel-soo. The game involving 2 dolls could also be jump rope or elastics, since the dolls are facing each other with their arms together in front of them. But again, those games have nothing to do with a train light. A multitude of fans believe this game will be Jack and Jill, but this is an American nursery rhyme and a board game, not a real-life Korean game. Other fans think this game will be a revamped version of Red Light Green Light, with the original doll scanning for movement from the front and Chelsea scanning for movement in the back, but this is extremely unlikely. We've never seen a game played twice within the same round of games, and again, this fails to have anything to do with a train crossing sign. Some fans believe this game could be the trolley problem, where one player decides whether to save one person they care about or a group of strangers. But this isn't a Korean game, and it takes away from the general sense of fairness the games strive for. I believe Dongdaemun is the game still hidden by the bunk beds, and from a certain angle we can see what look like 2 structures that seem to form a bridge. Out of all the predictions for what this game could be, this is the only game I've come across that would have the players traveling in a circle, matching the depiction on the promotional business cards. I'm positive this will be the next game because we've already seen Player 100 and his 2 friends approaching the game site, and the entire fanbase is dying to see Player 100 kick the bucket. Plus, this game would be perfect for reducing the number of players from around 70 to 32 or 16, leading up to the final two games. The second game will be Why Did You Come to My House, a game where two teams march towards each other singing a song about flowers, and play rock, paper, scissors to win players over to their side. The team with the most players wins. This game is meant to establish important friendships and force betrayals, making it the ideal second to last game. One of the images on the business cards is literally a house, and in a promotional image we see a guard dragging a player across a bed of flowers, basically confirming Why Did You Come to My House is the fifth game. Despite most people guessing the game depicted on the back wall being human chess or even Minesweeper, I believe the chess-like art is actually Why Did You Come to My House, since there are two opposing teams winning over and eliminating other players, similar to chess. On top of this, in Season 1, before playing Tug of War, Gi-hun already predicted Why Did You Come to My House as one of the upcoming games. All of this evidence makes me 3000% sure this will be the fifth game. Human chess would undermine the fairness of the games, as the queen, for example, is much more valuable than a pawn. Also, chess is a game meant for adults. The final game will definitely have to do with hanging, most likely monkey bars, and this could get just as aggressive as the final game in Season 1. Some bars might collapse randomly, leading to tragic eliminations. Maybe the players will be given numbers to determine the order they cross, just like the glass game in Season 1. This will incentivize the players to force each other off, since almost every game so far has had a time limit. Despite being a more physical game, I imagine there's a way to help or save other players. Although it's possible the bars might collapse randomly or the players might have to cross some kind of finish line, I believe the true final game will be a test of strength and willpower to see who can hang on the longest. This approach would guarantee only one winner and make for a suspensefully thrilling final game. Number 3, an unexpected plot twist. Many fans believe the person inside the coffin in this image is Jung-bae, who was taken out at the end of the rebellion to serve as an example to Gi-hun. Gohan's childhood friend in the coffin would serve as a strong warning to the other players for what happens if they go against the organizers. Others believe Gi-hun could be the one in the coffin, but I'm certain it's none other than player 246, and I can explain exactly why. Notice how player 120 looks the most concerned out of everyone, appearing somewhat horrified while the others look moderately worried. Ever since player 246 grabbed and saved Hyun-ju during the Mingle game, they've been basically inseparable, appearing together in just about every scene after that. In fact, it wasn't until Hyun-ju noticed player 246 didn't know how to reload during the rebellion that player 120 then showed everyone how to reload. We know the artist's father was most likely shot by guard number 11, since the guard appears shorter than him and is wearing a triangle mask, just like No-Yul. In a split second, we see the gun move away from his heart in a subtle act of mercy. No-Yul sympathizes with the artist's father, even visiting his daughter in the hospital. It's extremely likely that guard 11 chose to spare his life, but this theory gets even more insane. I believe the body inside the coffin will be player 246 struggling to stay alive. Guard number 11 will convince the organizers to send the artist's father in the coffin as a message to the remaining players. If you remember, in Season 1, the organization hung up the doctor and the guards who conspired with him in the organ trade for all the players to see, so this theory makes perfect sense. This also explains why guard 11 appears outside the facility. Out of fear of getting caught after pulling this off, she most likely decides to escape, knowing the organization will come after her. While she makes her escape, she'll run into Jun-ho and the Squid Game Avengers. Without a doubt, Jun-ho will catch on to the sea captain's betrayal. After all, it's impossible not to notice the drone pilot is missing. Eventually, Jun-ho will piece together why he's visited so many islands while still not locating the games. The sea captain is under strict orders not to hurt Jun-ho, most likely as a direct order from In-ho. Jun-ho will force the sea captain to reveal the true location of the island, and despite his betrayal, I believe Jun-ho will let him live, for rescuing him after getting shot off the cliff by his brother. After locating the island, Jun-ho and his squad will team up with No-Yul. This is huge because it marks the turning point in Season 3. Guard 11 knows the layout of the facility and can tell them the most effective way to take control of the island. Equipped with the knowledge from Guard 11, Jun-ho, No-Yul, and the military guys will have enough firepower to turn the tides on the organization. Number 4, who will survive? There's a clue hidden in the promotional banner released for Season 3, and it might have just completely spoiled the ending. Notice the position of Gi-hun, MG Coin, and player 222. When compared to the promotional banner for Season 1, their positions line up with Gi-hun, Se-byok, and Sang-woo, who were the last 3 surviving players. Even In-ho is in the same spot as El-Riz, which furthers this theory. While this is compelling, I don't think the finale will play out this way. One fan believes Gi-hun might adopt the daughter or the artist's father, and this would mean that player 246 doesn't make it, even though his death looked really sus. But I believe the artist's father will live and make it out alive, because I doubt he's really gonna die twice. Like, we gotta give this guy a break. There's no way they'll bring him back in a surprising plot twist only for him to die again shortly after. A multitude of fans are convinced that player 222 has infinite plot armor because she's carrying a baby, and it would be taboo for her to get taken out. I know the director is aware of this taboo, and he might even toy with that a little. What do you think? Do you think the director is capable of taking out an expecting mother, or is she guaranteed to live? We know the hanging game will be a huge challenge for her. The only way I see her making it through the final game is if the frontman intervenes and finds a way to save her. This is where we get the image of the frontman sitting in the VIP room. The frontman has never sat with the VIPs before, instead showing them the rules of the games and controlling them from behind the scenes. This is because the frontman is now reconsidering his life choices after helping player 222 stay alive. This would also explain the image of In-ho looking at his mask, as if contemplating what he thought was his core belief as the frontman, to ensure the games are run as fairly as possible. We've already seen In-ho express concern for player 222 even though his only goal was to manipulate Gi-hun. This is because she reminds him of his deceased wife, who was also carrying a baby when she died of liver disease. We know he went above and beyond to try and save his wife, so even though he was acting undercover in the games, he did express genuine concern over player 222. In-your-hole feels conflicted after helping player 222, since this is a betrayal of his morals as the frontman. Despite In-ho's attempts to destroy Gi-hun's faith in mankind, I believe his plan will actually backfire, with Gilbert bringing back the person In-ho used to be. I firmly believe Gi-hun will force In-ho to have a change of heart. Either Gohan's conviction that people are inherently good will open his eyes, or seeing his brother again will remind him of the man he used to be, the upstanding detective who gave his own kidney for his brother. Since the beginning of the second season, the crazy shaman lady has been making unsettling predictions, the most haunting of which is the curse she placed on Hyun-ju and both the mother and the son, stating they'll die a painful death in front of her. Based on this alone, I'm certain those players will be eliminated before the shaman lady gets taken out. I'm certain the mother will die before her son, completely breaking him from the inside. The son will blame himself for her death since he had voted to continue the games. Fans are going to be distraught when player 120 kicks the bucket, but shortly after, the crazy shaman lady will also get taken out. I imagine Dae-ho will have a redemption arc where he makes up for his cowardice by sacrificing himself for another player. The Squid Game Avengers will take control of the island, but not before MG Coin gets eliminated. I believe MG Coin will sacrifice himself for player 222 in the last game, but before that, he'll tell G-Money to look after her and their baby. The characters who make it to the very end will be Gi-hun, player 222, Jun-ho, player 246, guard number 11, and the military guys. Let me know in the comments who you think will survive and who you're sure won't make it. Number 5, the grand finale. Jun-ho will meet up with Gi-hun Everdeen and put an end to the Hunger Games, rescuing the remaining players. From here, Gohan might choose to forgive the VIPs and possibly even convince them that all human life is valuable, giving out his prize money to the families of the players who got eliminated. On the other hand, it's possible G-Man will give in to his desire for revenge, and in the absolute peak moment of the final season will force the VIPs to compete in the very games they plan to watch. I imagine Gi-hun would also want the guards to be thrown into the games. In a sinister twist, maybe the revenge games actually offer no real chance of winning for the guards and VIPs. This sick twist would fit well with such a dark show. Given what we know about Gi-hun, I believe Gilbert will choose to make a statement by taking part in the revenge game, hoping to prove to the VIPs that what they're doing is wrong. In a desperate panic, the VIPs will lose the game one by one, but Gi-hun will choose to let them live as a lesson. The emotional climax of the show will be the frontman revealing himself as In-ho to Gi-hun, but Gohan will choose to show mercy, which gives In-ho a moment of clarity. In-ho will guide Gi-hun and the remaining players off the island, and at the last moment he'll choose to stay behind, setting off the explosives mentioned in season 1. After everything he's done, I believe In-ho will sacrifice himself to make sure the games in Korea are completely destroyed. This would be a bittersweet end to the most fascinating character in the entire series. After getting back home, Gi-hun visits his mother's grave when he gets a phone call from an unknown number. At first, he panics, suspecting it's the organizers of the game again. Instead, it's his daughter who calls him Appa, and Gi-hun finally feels worthy to visit his daughter. I firmly believe the final season of Squid Game will end with Gohan at an airport in the United States on his way to spend time with his daughter. Just when it looks like a happy ending, in a devilish twist, Gilbert notices a man in a suit slapping someone at the airport, confirming the games are happening globally. There's no way this is the end for Squid Game, and this ending would provide a satisfying twist while also setting us up for more Squid Game content, like the American spin-off titled Squid Game America. This ending would also highlight one of the main themes of the show, that inequality and desperation will always exist. I want to know what you think. What are your predictions for the final season? Is there anything I left out? Share this video and let me know which part of season 3 you're looking forward to the most. Make sure to geek out in the comments and check out one of these delicious videos.